Good morning, guys. I hope you're all keeping well. Happy Easter to you. Hope you had a great Easter weekend, catching up with your friends, family, just doing nothing, whatever you like to do. It's always good to have a break, so hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Now, it's a quick video today, and obviously, as you can see, I've got a black dial sub. I'm wearing a black dial sub, and the thing with, I don't know, when you collect Rolexes or when you collect any sort of watch, I always like to have a bit of colour, a bit of variation in the dials. And, the Submariner, it's always generally known and iconic with the black dial. It's the quintessential Submariner is a black dial with a date or a no date. So as you can see, I've got a no date 12 series here. I've actually got it on an Erica's original MN strap. It's actually 20mm, so I usually have it on other watches. But just put it on there so you can see what it looks like. I would like to actually get a correct size 21mm so it fits the lugs correctly, but it does look pretty good on the MN strap just to see a bit of texture on there. I have to say, it's probably one of the best straps that you could fit to this sub. But anyway, sorry, going back, I digress. So, if how would I say it? I freestyle these videos, so I don't actually write anything. I just talk, I ramble on a bit. So, this video probably is for someone who already has a Submariner in black or has already got a Rolex. It's all about, yes, you can have black dials. There's so many beautiful black dial Rolexes, but sometimes we just need a pop of colour. And I've got two Rolexes here today with me. I own both, but sadly I'm going to have to sell one just because I need some money for a few things. So just want to talk about, we do need a bit of colour in our lives. It's all good having black dials, but sometimes, now it's summer, you just want to see a pop of colour. And what two brilliant Submariners to pair each against? You got your Hulk, your 116610 LV, and we've got a current model Bluesy, which is your 126613 LB. For those of you who go by the reference codes. So, I want to just discuss really about both watches. And as you can see, we're sort of in dark lighting or ambient lighting. So you can sort of see what the watches look like when the colours are a bit more subdued. We're not in the bright sunlight, but I will go outside and I'm just going to show you how the colours just completely change. So that's the Hulk there. And here is the Bluesy. So I'm doing this while watching through the screen. Yeah, stunning watch. Look at that. Lovely, lovely piece. The Bluesy. So just really going to have a chat and just sort of do a little side-by-side comparison. I don't think there's any right or wrong answers here, but it is nice to have a bit of colour in the collection because Rolex watches, they're beautiful, but they always generally have a black dial. But one thing about Rolex, yes, they are probably one of the world's best tool watch makers. And yeah, is it real that a Submariner should have gold in there or a two-tone? Is it really a tool watch? But, this is beside the point. These are sort of luxury watches. And Rolex is, I would say, for and foremost, the best tool watch maker there is, quality-wise, to price. And one thing people don't often realise is they actually, in my opinion, they make the best sunburst dials that I've ever seen. And I've handled quite a few watches, don't get me wrong. I've owned watches, handled and owned quite a few really nice dialed watches. I did a video the other day on a couple of months back on blue dialed watches. I think it was actually last year. where I had the Bluesy. I had a glass shooter Original. I had the Tudor Pelagos Blue, a Grand Seiko SBGA, and Seiko SBP diver in there. And I was just talking about blue dials. So anyway, back to where we were, talking about having a bit of colour in our lives, because, you know, why have so many black dial watches? So I'm actually trying to downsize. I actually have to downsize the collection, and I want to keep watches with colour, but, you know, I only want to have one of the subs, don't want to have two of these with colour. So it's really just having a think about a reflection of the watches and just general having a chat. So let's see. Sorry, it's quite hard to move these properly whilst looking at a phone screen, because it is blocking my vision. So let's get this. Let's get each one onto my scales. So all of them, both of them would have had two links taken out to fit my wrist. So first on with the Hulk, that comes in at 149 grams. No, 148. 149 to 148. And then let's put the Bluesy on. The Bluesy does feel substantially heavier with the gold on there. But yeah, 168. So okay, about 20 grams heavier. Feels a lot more than that, surprisingly. But due to having the gold, I'd say that's about right. Yeah, it's had two links also taken out from factory from when I bought the watch. So that would fit my wrist, which is about 7 inches, give or take. Yes, I know you're going to be looking. I'm going to get a few comments about how you can see the lugs. I will one day, if I want, buy a 21mm. I'll just put it on just to experiment, and I quite like the look of it. So yeah, sorry, you can see the spring bars in the gaps there. But anyway, going back. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this. I'll put the sub no date on the MN strap to see what weight that is as well. Right, here we go. Let's drop that on there. Wow, look at that. 92 grams. I was going to say the watch is super, super comfortable. Extremely comfortable on my wrist. And I can see why, you know, 92 grams for a very, very capable watch. And I just like the texture of the MN straps. Don't know if you can see it. They're sort of threading. You can buy cheap ones on eBay. I mean, Erica's ones are quite pricey. eBay or Etsy or whatever, you can find them online. But, you know, they are quite nice, these MN straps, and super, super comfortable. But anyway, sorry, let's not talk too much about the sub no date. We're going back to this video today, which is the colourful subdials. Or Submariner dials, I shouldn't say subdials, because that is another website, a portal where you can buy quite a lot of nice watches. So as you can see, how do we decide on which one to choose? So and foremost, I am going to say this is purely an opinion. There's no right or wrong. It is my opinion. And, you know, we're all entitled to have an opinion, and you may agree, you may disagree with what I've got to say. So, let's start off with the Bluesy. So the Bluesy, I have to say, is, in my opinion, Rolex's most sunbursty dial. You know, even in this sort of dark light, natural light, you can just see it popping off a little bit. In really dark light, it does look dark blue to almost not, like a midnighty blue, but you can just sort of see it's dying to pop, you know, at any time. It does. It is one hell of a dial. Honestly, bang for buck, pound for pound, if you want a Rolex that is loud or sort of screams Rolex, this is the one. But you know, the funny thing is, that's for people who can see it on your wrist. But as you, the wearer, you will always smile when you wear this watch. You know, you'll be playing with it when you're sitting in traffic, shining in the sunlight, when you're walking. It is such a beautiful watch, and you can sort of see, even in this sort of darkish light, it's just crying to pop. And when we put this in the sunlight, you're going to see how this watch just comes alive. Honestly, it just totally changes. So I have to say, I really do like the blue. It is amazing. The only thing is, obviously, being a two-tone watch, it is really nice. But even in, say, darker light like this, you can sort of see the watch does automatically draw presence. Again, with the polished center links, they are a bit of a smudge magnet. But it's it's not the end, do all and end all. It's a lovely watch. Being the new sub, obviously, you've got the better movement. I'm not going to blabber on about the differences between the current Gen 12 and the 11. You know full well, if you've got a sub or you've been watching my videos, the general differences. The more difference I'm always concerned about is things like wearability. So yes, the new sub is bigger than the old one. I know a lot of YouTubers talk about how it isn't and it's only 0.5 mil. For some reason, I find that the watch does wear bigger. But surprisingly, the Bluesy, it's not too bad. I mean, yes, the Sub No Date, I think, wears quite big. A lot bigger than the previous generation. But I think on the Bluesy, it's not too bad. It is a little bit bigger, but it's not as bad as the Sub No Date. Or even, I used to have the black two-tone, the 126613 LN. And that did wear quite big for some reason, but the Bluesy doesn't feel as big. I mean, it's not a small watch, don't get me wrong, but it's not as big as either of the two black dials for some reason. But maybe that's purely a psychological thing. I just can't explain it, but that's the way I feel about it. So going back to the Bluesy, it is generally a watch that has a lot of presence, even in the dark, and then in the sun, it is just pure. It just screams, "Look at me." One thing is, it is a beautiful sort of look at me. It is kind of loud, but honestly, it is quite a beautiful watch to behold. And people will always look at it. You'll see them glancing at the watch. They'll be looking at you, and their eyes will be looking at the watch. And whether they like it or not, I mean, I think they do, because it is stunningly beautiful. But it is a loud sort of watch. It does scream a bit at you. You do sort of look like you might look like a bit of a used car trader, depending if you're a bit of a geezer. But I'm kidding. You know, end of the day, you wear the watch, right? And you will always love this blue dial. And I'm going to take it outside, and then you're going to be like, wow, that's crazy. Now, the Hulk, fantastic watch. Being a stainless steel stub, it has obviously got brushed center links, so it isn't as showy as the Bluesy. And in sort of darkish lights like that, you can sort of see the dial almost sort of turns very dark. A little bit, almost close to black. And the actual bezel looks very much like the Cermet, or is it the Cermet? Yeah, the Starbucks, the new 12 series. But again, when you take this outside, it pops. The color just comes to life. So the thing with the Hulk, for everyday wearability, and if you just want that splash of color, I think this is perhaps, I don't know, if you don't want to be the loudest person in the world, I mean, the loudest person in the room, this is, you know, a nice watch to wear as a daily. I know a lot of them are kept as safe queens because people are obsessed with value, but, you know, it's a watch that has to be worn, and this one is a worn example. When I bought it, it had been used. I bought it used. I didn't really want a safe queen. I just want to wear the watch and enjoy it. And so, you know, that's what I do. I wear it and I enjoy it. And I have to say, the Hulk, how do I say? It just has the right amount of pop, you know. It comes alive outside, but inside it does shine. It's more subdued, generally on darker light. Whereas you can sort of see the Bluesy does, even in dark light, it does catch your eye. You can see it. It is still a bit of a louder watch, whereas the Hulk sort of takes a bit more of a refrained sort of look. There's just a colour, but it's not like the gold, the blue. It's not as loud. But all that does change outside. So let's, look, enough of me rambling on inside in this sort of darker light. Let's go outside, get some natural sunlight and see what we think. There you go, outside in the natural sunlight. Just look at the colours. Oops. Stunning, stunning watches. Can you see how the Bluesy? Just look at that colour and the Hulk. Just trying to get them to I think let me put them on the wrist, because honestly the colour is popping, but they pop a lot more. Give me a second. So there you go, actually on the wrist. It's going a bit overcast now. You can just see that beautiful blue dial. There you go. Just look at how that colour pops. It is one beautiful watch. Sorry, it's not focusing there. The bezel comes alive as well. Stunning, stunning watch. Let's put the Hulk on now. So you can see with the Hulk, for some reason, I don't know if it is popping as much. It does normally, but it's not as sunny as I was expecting. Again, it's gone a bit overcast. Let me try and get into another position. Yeah. Okay, that is a little bit annoying. I've been waiting, but still overcast. So you can't really see the green popping as much. But believe you me, it pops, and so does the bezel. It just goes very bright green. I guess that's sod's law, unfortunately. Let me go inside and put it under a spotlight. You can sort of, now it's got that really nice sort of dark green on it. It just has multiple greens. It's funny. It just has loads of different greens. As you can see now, it's got a very nice rich sort of dark green. Here's the inside with, again, natural daylight. So you can just see, that's the funny thing with the Hulk. The dial has quite a few interesting variations of green. The green is always different. It can be dark green, medium green, or super bright green. I know they say that the dial has got gold dust or something in it. Who knows? Just really, really annoying because it was sunny earlier. But hey, that's English weather for you. Changes with the click of a finger. Let's go back to the Bluesy so you can sort of see the Bluesy and the inside. So this is probably what the watch would look like 70, probably 50, at least 60 to 70% of the time if you live in a normal country like England, than where it rains a lot of the time, where it's cloudy. But again, if you live in a hot country with loads of sunlight, it will look completely different. It will be extremely bright. But it is nice. Look at that. Very, very nice. Let's do the same for the Hulk. Let's put it under a spotlight now. I'll turn the lights on. And yeah, you can see it's kicking now. Yeah, camera's not focusing. And let's see if it makes a difference in the Hulk. It just shows me more fingerprints really on the crystal. Right. So, what do I think? Okay, really sorry guys, it just really frustrating because it just has come so overcast outside, so you can't really see the Hulk in its full beauty. We did get to see the Bluesy kicking as such, but unfortunately by the time I put the Hulk out, it's gone cloudy. So in order to conclude, again, this is purely my opinion, you know. I do actually like the maxi case. I know obviously the new one is also sort of maxi case, but the more squarish shape of the 11 series sub, I do quite like it. So as an everyday sort of watch, I do prefer the Hulk, you know, because it is something that you can wear every day. Under normal lighting, it is pretty much a Rolex sub, which again is a nice watch, but it's quite subdued. It has quite a good character. Yes, again, it is quite green. I do like the colour green. If you don't like the colour green, you're not going to like the watch, and you're going to probably be repulsing watching it. However, if you do like a bit of colour and you're looking after really, I mean, again, this is not a safe queen, this watch. This is a watch where I actually wear it and just enjoy it. It's been worn by the previous owner. It's in good condition, though. They have looked after it very well. You know, so for an everyday sort of piece, I think, well, something that, for me personally, I prefer the Hulk, just because, you know, being all brushed, it isn't as shouty or as loud, but you get just the bang on right amount of colour and panache when you're in the sunlight. And I mean, the variation of the greens, there's more variation in the green in this style than there are variations in blue on the Bluesy, because the Bluesy is just looking for any opportunity to scream sunburst at you. And it is such a beautiful watch, you know. In the perfect world, I'd love to keep both, but unfortunately I can't. So one of them has to go, and one of them can stay. You know, pound for pound, the Bluesy is stunning. You know, it is more stunning than the Hulk. It is that blue just honestly kicks. It is such a stunning blue. It is beautiful. Wow. Love it. But for an everyday, I think for a special occasion, when you just want to give no flying F's to the world, this is something you wear just to enjoy and just look at it. And this is wrist porn. This is a porno. This watch is the Rolex porno. That is my honest opinion. This is a Submariner porno. Yeah. If a Submariner could be porn, this is it. Absolutely. That is how I'm going to summarize it. Yeah, this is the porno watch. The Hulk has the right amount of interest to never get boring, but it is perhaps better for everyday or more frequent use. And, you're not going to... You can wear this. And it's definitely not a porno watch. It has got a perfect amount of kick and everything and beauty, but it looks, I think, a bit more refined. It's really weird. I'm actually calling the Hulk refined because some people will totally disagree, but for day-to-day use, it is beautiful and it's not boring. You'll always smile. Both watches, that's the most important thing. You're always going to smile looking at both of them. Be it the Bluesy, be it the Hulk. You're never going to get tired of boring either. Boring either? You're never going to get bored of wearing either. But, yeah. And here's the no date for you. Again, beautiful watch, but, black dials are black dials. Lovely to wear. They're versatile. They are cool. But, sometimes when you have too many black dial watches, you just need that bit of colour. And I do have some other colourful Rolexes. I will do videos. I have a Sky Dweller in a very special colour. I'll do a video of that. It is a very, very special colour, very hard to get hold of. I bought that, and I have a Wimbledon, which is a sunburst sort of slate rhodium grey colour. I've got Polar Explorer 2, which is a white dial, and then a couple of other neo vintage pieces, an old Sea Dweller and an old Sub, which you may have seen. But again, they're all black dials. So, I just need some colour in my life. I'll get to that point of collecting and variations where, there's only so many black dials that you want to have. You just need something different. And that's the thing. Every time you put something on like this, you put a watch that has a bit of colour on it, it just feels special. So, guys, plenty of me rambling on today. That's the thing with freestyle videos. You just ramble and ramble and ramble. So, look, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found what I'm rambling on about useful. So I think for me, I'm going to be keeping the Hulk just because I find it more usable on a day-to-day basis. Both make me smile equally. I do find the Bluesy more beautiful. It is a much more sexier watch. It is literally the porno Rolex. Absolutely love it. Unfortunately, in my current circumstances, there's a time and place for it. And I would always like to add one of these back to my collection because it is really special. It is lovely. It is a beautiful watch. But for a watch I'm actually going to wear more and make more use out of, it would be the Hulk. Because I wear this watch. I'm happy to wear it. It can fly a bit under the radar. Obviously, it is still a sub. It is noticeable on the streets of London or South London, whereas the Bluesy screams at me, or screams at people. No bad thing, don't get me wrong. I love it, but, I think it's definitely going to be the Hulk for me, just because I'd get more use out of it. And it is a little bit smaller, which I prefer. Yeah, the movement's older, 3135. You only got 48 hours power reserve, which I did find. I mean, it is a little bit annoying over the weekend. If you leave it, it will be flat for Monday. But hey, that's life. You can't have it all. But very comfortable. Both watches, as you know, have glide lock clasps, bloody blah. The full shebang about the Rolex. I'm not going to ramble on about it. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you prefer the Bluesy over the Hulk, or do you think the Hulk is the better watch? or the more suitable one as such. You know, no right or wrong, guys. Love to hear your opinions. Let me know what you think. And also, feel free to let me know, drop a comment about what you think of the sub no date on the MN strap. Yes, I'll get a 21mm one day. Let's zoom in again on that one. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've all had a great bank holiday weekend. And yes, here's to a lovely upcoming summer. Thanks for watching, guys, and please do subscribe.